Right. The subtitle of the Fringe papers is Fundamental Thoughts on RNA Expression as it relates to disease and viruses. As concise as possible, explain how relevant is RNA to health, disease, and viruses.
All right. Well, the key factor to understand is that the human anatomy is composed of cellular structures. Knowing this, at least on a basic level, we can truly value the significance of RNA. Let's look at it this way. Every disease and virus is on a specific mission in the body. Remember that. Like any other missionary, viruses and diseases are moving virulently in direct accordance with a particular message and command. This destructive message and command lies in the RNA programming. RNA meaning ribonucleic acid. This also applies when it comes to optimal health. In a healthy cellular function, the DNA encodes the RNA with a specific salubrious message and command. The RNA carries the message and command to cellular structures called ribosomes, directing the ribosomes to synthesize the necessary proteins to sustain vitality in the body. Simply put, as you read the Fringe papers, keep in mind that RNA is the very means by which the programming message and command is transmitted to the cell and its biomolecular components. Therefore, if you change the message and command of the aberrant RNA material, you automatically change the activity of that very same RNA material, as well as the effect it has on the cells and its biomolecular components. Such is the very objective of the book, The Fringe Papers, to show thought for thought how the natural processes and components of plants and human metabolism can be specifically utilized to directly rectify or cure any and all aberrant RNA-orientated diseases and viruses. Yeah.
This book is awesome. Did you write and structure the Fringe papers in an intentional order? And if so, why?
Yes, I did. My intentions in writing and structuring this book in the manner in which it is written and structured was to make the key points in the book as clear and comprehensive as possible. This book is primarily written for the people, the common folks. Also, I'm a stark believer that all things are a manifestation of and are governed by
from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Chester. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
And are governed by some discipline of mathematics. The gravity of mathematics gives us the very formula which we must use when establishing efficient order. The Fringe Papers is a complete project, and mathematics complete represents a whole. And as I stated in one of the chapters in the Fringe Papers, a whole is the sum total of its parts, each part being significant to the maintenance of the whole. Each short chapter in the Fringe paper is a significant part leading up to the foundational document, where the understanding of those significant parts are going to be essential for the reader to comprehend the whole. And let me elaborate, let me say something before you move on. You know, I wasn't educated in Yale or Einstein School of Medicine. You know, my education came on the fringe of the established status quo opinions and scientific findings and so forth. So I never was restricted in my observation and understanding of viruses and diseases. You know what I mean? Nor was my education compartmentalized. You know, when I was first introduced to molecular biology, I was introduced to those disciplines by individuals who understood those old ancient principles of studying everything from a holistic, secular standpoint, opposed to linear. You know, everything is connected to everything. You know,
this is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Chester. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
One of the problems when you look at these very important and powerful disciplines like molecular biology and so forth, physics, chemistry. When you look at these things separate, it's hard to get a full picture. And if you don't have a full picture, it's impossible to consider options, all the options. Like if you study molecular biology without studying botany or soil biochemistry, then if the cure lies within soil biochemistry, plants, but you just study molecular biology from a general standpoint, then you're not connecting the dots. You're not going to never view plants as the very nexus that connect micromolecules to macromolecules.
Wow. Okay. Whew. All right. So the Fringe papers briefly spoke on the fact that some medical professionals have built their careers on treating illnesses opposed to curing illnesses. I'm applying that to some. It's more lucrative to medicate, treat sicknesses than to eliminate it. Because of the contention, do you think that you are going to be met with skepticism and maybe even violent opposition? The skeptics are going to pretend that it will be impossible for you to conclude the specific positions and observations that you have made in the Fringe papers, being in your situation incarcerated, and not having access to the necessary scientific technology required. What would you say?
Well, I definitely expect that. Not because they're concerned about my credentials, but more so they desire most likely to try to maintain a career. Well, first, I will basically reiterate the words of Einstein, who stated that great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. The spirit in which the Fringe papers is written and presented is a humanitarian one, motivated not by monetary aspirations nor political notoriety. Thus, I didn't embark on this project concerned about being politically correct. You know, as civilized people, we have an inherent duty to one another. I am my brother's keeper, therefore I want for my brother what I want for myself, good health. Secondly, and more importantly, I will explain that when we understand the science of mathematics and how to accurately use it, we realize that science and the effective use of it is not predicated on circumstances, like incarceration. For example, at this very moment, the Earth is spinning on its axis at the magnificent speed of 1,037.30 miles per hour. Now, I didn't arrive at this accurate conclusion by taking a flight on a spaceship to the outer limits of the Earth with a giant speedometer to calculate the speed. What I did was use the absolute science of mathematics, calculating the factors that are reachable and observable. I knew that the Earth is 24,896 miles in circumference, and that it takes approximately 24 hours for the Earth to make a complete rotation on its axis. Thus, mathematics directs me to divide 24 hours into the circumference, which is 24,896, and there you have it, the actual speed, 1,037.30 miles per hour. My point is that true science is based on calculated observations and the systemic documentation of the occurrences that you observe. The greatest mystery among the people in the world has been the mystery of God or the unseen. This is only due to the disregard of the vital importance of applying the science of mathematics for our understanding of the unseen. The laws of mathematics proclaim that the unseen can be seen by the impression that it leaves on what is seen. Now listen, all RNA viruses and diseases are based on hyperaccelerated oxygen atoms within the chemical formula of RNA. Thus, when looking for a chemical that repulses oxygen, we must observe nature. Briefly, let us make a scientific observation regarding the subject matter of this book. If all RNA-orientated viruses and diseases are proliferated due to hyperaccelerated oxygen atoms within the chemical formula of the RNA material, then where do we see in nature an occurrence that oxygen is being repulsed? Think about it. The majority of the oxygen that we breathe comes from where? Plants. Why? Because oxygen is a waste product of plants, and thus when plants take in carbon dioxide as well as water, it takes the element that it needs and chemically repulses the oxygen out of the system. Oxygen has a negative atomic charge, and in order to repulse oxygen, there would have to be another negatively charged atom. The plants has, and this is very important, plants have a high nitrogen content, and nitrogen also has a negative atomic charge. The hyperaccelerated element within the RNA material that serves as the viral particle has 5 oxygen atoms. Thus, the conclusion can be empirically made that the nitrogen content within the plant, since the chemical in plants repulses oxygen out of its system, it has to possess more than 5 nitrogen atoms in order to repulse the 5 oxygen atoms out of its system. This is a brief breakdown of part of the process that I used to discover the C1N14 anabolic precursor control chemical in plants. C, again, represents carbon. So it's 1 carbon atom and 14 nitrogen atoms. This is why plants have the ability to repulse oxygen out of the system. Now keep in mind, anytime someone goes to the hospital and they're sick, they got a disease or virus, the doctor always speaks about inflammation. When something is inflamed, it's like you light a fire. When you want to inflame the fire, you hyperaccelerate the oxygen. You blow on it. It hyperaccelerates the oxygen. This is where inflammation comes from. Inside the RNA material, like I just spoke about, is 5 oxygen atoms. Anytime you see a virus that's causing inflammation, right, or proliferation, which is another form of inflammation, this is what a tumor do when it's called cancer. You have to look for the oxygen factor within the equation. This is what they don't tell you when you go to the hospital. You know, they don't tell you those things, because once you start talking about the atomic makeup of something, now you're going to the root cause. And when you go to the root cause, then you can go ahead and eliminate it opposed to treating it.
Wow. This is heavy. This is heavy, Brother General. You know, but we gotta move on. We gotta move on. Now I'm sure that you are aware of the many statistics that show that there has been a major spike in the happenings or occurrences of cancer and other diseases. What do you think is the cause for this spike?
Well, there are many causes. But I'll briefly speak on the primary 3. Technologically speaking, the United States of America leads the world, with possibly the exception of China. All over the country, we see reflections of said technological advancements, such as factories and power plants erected everywhere we look. All kinds of carcinogens or carcinogenic smoke flowing into the sky from these factories and power plants. Yes, carcinogenic, which is the causative agent. Now listen, causative agent of cancer and other illnesses. It is clearly psychopathic for industry to continue to construct these factories while failing to take into consideration the deadly ramifications of the toxic waste material that they are pouring into the atmosphere. Secondly, the processed food product production industry, in their quest to reap the greatest profit by any means, are saturating all types of toxic preservatives, growth hormones, steroids, and other unhealthy chemicals into the food stuff that flood the world's food market today, essentially feeding the world the very causative agents of countless diseases such as cancer. Okay, hold on, Brother General. I want you to call back for part 3 so we can finish this one. All right, to be continued.
The caller has hung up.